More details emerge about the incredibly disturbing case of the Democratic candidate for the Attorney General of the state of Virginia texting another lawmaker 2 years ago that he wanted to put two in the head of a conservative political rival, and even laughed and joked about that lawmaker's children dying. What is going on in Virginia? And this isn't the only case. 3 other Republican Virginian politicians have had death threats in the last few weeks.
Let your rage fuel you.
And that's not just some random insane cat lady. That's the actual Democratic candidate for the governor of Virginia.
We have the ability here in Virginia to ensure that we set the stage for what's to come. We set an example for the rest of the country.
Well, I'd hope not that you're setting an example for the rest of the country.
Jay Jones, the Democratic nominee for Virginia Attorney General, is accused of sending a former legislative colleague texts suggesting he would like to shoot the Speaker of the House of Delegates.
The series of texts was first reported by the National Review. Jones, a former delegate, reportedly sent Delegate Kerry Coyner texts about hypothetically shooting Speaker Todd Gilbert back in 2022 and wishing violence upon his children. Delegate Coyner has confirmed Jones sent her a number of texts, several of which read from Jones: 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Coyner says, "Jay, please stop." And Jones replies, "LOL, okay, okay."
Coyner sent us a statement that says, on August 8th, 2022, I had a text conversation with Jay Jones. What he said was not just disturbing, but disqualifying for anyone who wants to seek public office. Jay Jones wished violence on the children of a colleague and joked about shooting Todd Gilbert. It's disgusting and unbecoming of any public official.
We reached out to the Jones campaign. They sent us a statement that reads, "Like all people, I've sent text messages that I regret, and I believe that violent rhetoric has no place in our politics. Let's be clear," he continues, "about what is happening in the Attorney General race right now. Jason Miyares is dropping smears through Trump-controlled media organizations to assault my character and rescue his desperate campaign. This is a strategy that ensures Jason Miyares will continue to be accountable to Donald Trump, not to the people of Virginia. This race is about whether Trump can control Virginia or Virginians control Virginia."
Newsweek, what did Jay Jones say? Read text messages in full. Virginia Attorney General candidate Jay Jones, a Democrat, is facing growing pressure to drop out of the election race after texts he once sent suggesting a former Virginia House Speaker should receive 2 bullets to the head were made public. President Donald Trump is among key Republicans who have called on Jones to drop out of next month's election over his texts sent in 2022 that called for violence against former State House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his family. The texts written by Jones were first reported by National Review and reviewed by the Washington Post. Newsweek has not independently verified the messages. Jones has not questioned their veracity and has apologized for them. Why it matters. The controversy around the text sent in 2022 has rocked Virginia's off-year elections that take place next month, in which Jones is running against incumbent Jason Miyares. As well as handing the Republicans ammunition, the texts exacerbate concerns over an uptick in political violence amid the fallout from the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk last month. National Review reported that Jones had sent a number of texts on August 8th, 2022 to Republican State Delegate Kerry Coyner about shooting then Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert. Jones at the time had just resigned from the State House after representing Norfolk. He was expressing how he felt about the tributes from Republicans like Gilbert about the recently deceased Joe Johnson Jr., a moderate Democrat and former state legislator. Jones disparaged Johnson Jr.'s political centrism and scoffed at the glowing tributes from Republicans following his death in a message to Coyner, who he said, "Damn, that was for Mark," suggesting that it had been sent to the wrong person, according to National Review. But Jones still referred to that POS Gilbert and wondered what I would say about him if he died. National Review said the text took a dark turn, with Jones writing, "If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves, so as to send them out awash in something." Jones then suggested that if he only had 2 bullets and was faced with the choice of shooting Gilbert or the dictators Adolf Hitler and Cambodia's Pol Pot, a mass murderer, why don't you call him a dictator? Well, I guess they said dictators in the plural, so he would shoot Gilbert every time. Concerned about their violent context, Coiner called on Jones to stop the text. Jones later called Coiner to explain his reasoning. A source familiar with the exchange told National Review, telling her that public policy only changes when policymakers feel pain themselves, such as that felt by parents when their children die from gun violence. Coiner hung up, but Jones continued texting, saying he was just asking questions. Coiner chastised Jones for hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. One text said, according to the publication, I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and they're breeding little fascists? Yes. Coiner has not spoken with Jones since, apart from a brief conversation about policy issues. Jones said in a statement to the outlet WRIC that he's deeply, deeply sorry for what I said and wish that it hadn't happened, and I would take it back if I could. Yeah, of course you would, asshole. Menares, who had declined to respond to the situation on Friday, held a press conference in Richmond, Virginia on Saturday afternoon to say that he feels the text messages disqualified Jones from office.
And I think the voters are going to disqualify him as well.
I don't know this answer, so I'll ask you. Has he apologized to Todd Gilbert directly and his family? Has he called them?
He claimed when this first broke out, when the messages first broke, he said he was sorry for some inappropriate texts, and then he simply tried to attack me, saying that this was somehow a smear campaign. But he admits it. These are his texts. He's admitted he sent them. He claims he has tried to reach out to Todd several hours after the fact. He tried to do damage control. But again, that's why I think this is fake. He was called out contemporaneously when it happened by a colleague, and that's when he doubled down. That's when he doubled down and advocated for the death of small children. I can't fathom that. I can't fathom somebody that is seeking this office with that worldview. And to give you an example, Bill, I have a sign outside of my office in Richmond that I see every day when I go into work at the Attorney General's office. It's a quote from Thomas Jefferson. It says, "I have never found a difference of opinion in politics, philosophy, or religion for cause to withdraw from a friend." It reminds me that we have so much more that unites us than divides us. And politics should never even have you withdraw from a friendship. I can't imagine viewing politics as a justification for murdering children. And so I think this is one of the moral tests of our time. What are our politics going to look like forward? Not just for Virginia, for nationwide. I think this is a real inflection point, a time of choosing for us. Do you want an attorney general that my attitude has been, I protect all Virginians? When I've met with victims, I have never once met with the victims and asked them whether they voted for me. Not once. Never once asked them what their political persuasion is. Because my job is they are somebody beautifully and wonderfully made in the image of their creator. My job is to be their protector. I say the attorney general is the people's protector. Not protector of a political party, the people's protector. That's my vision as attorney general. That's the oath I took. That's what I do every day as the Attorney General's top prosecutor.
Hill. Pressure grows on Virginia Democratic candidate to quit after violent text messages are revealed. Pressure is mounting on Virginia Democratic Attorney General nominee Jay Jones to drop out of his race following leaked text messages in which he openly talks about violence directed towards former Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert. A chorus of Republicans in and out of Virginia are calling on Jones to drop out, including President Trump and Vice President Vance. The Republican gubernatorial nominee, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, quickly jumped in the news, rolling out an ad tying her opponent, former Representative Abigail Spanberger, to Jones. Jones' opponent, State Attorney General Jason Menares, released his own ad on Monday, asking voters if they could trust Jones to protect their children. Pretty valid question. Spanberger has distanced herself from the comments, saying in a statement that she conveyed her disgust to Jones over the text. But she's likely to face growing pressure over the development as Republicans use the story to attack her and other Democrats, arguing she isn't going far enough by not calling him to drop out of the race. In October, there's a lot of things that can actually cut through. This is one of them, both in the AG race, then up the ballot and down the ballot, said Zach Rade, a Virginia-based Republican strategist who formerly worked on Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin's Spirit of the Virginia, PAC. This is going to motivate a whole lot of infrequent voters, he continued, and it absolutely will persuade people to second guess, like actual people, their priors. They very well may consider split ticket or changing who they're going to vote for. It's not very difficult to explain, he added. The messages, which were sent in 2022, meanwhile, the controversy is threatening to grow. The Virginia Scope reported on Monday that Coiner recalled a 2020 phone call with Jones in which he said if a few police officers died, then maybe they would stop killing people. Jones denied making the comments, according to the outlet. But Virginia Democrats are largely standing with Jones for now. In a joint statement on Friday, Virginia Senate Majority Chair Mamie Locke and Senate President pro tempore Louis Lucas said they will not allow this moment to overshadow the stakes of this election or to distract from the urgent fight we are all in for Virginia's lawmakers. The two senators condemned Jones' remarks and noted there's no place for political violence, but they added they know Jones and that the state cannot afford another 4 years of Donald Trump and Jason Menares dragging us backwards. Virginia House Speaker Don Scott condemned the text messages in a statement on Friday, referring to Gilbert as his friend. What Jay said was harmful, reckless, and wrong, Scott said. He needs to apologize now. He must take accountability for his words and then reflect and pray. During a campaign stop over the weekend at a church supporting House of Delegates candidate Lindsey Doherty, who is challenging Coiner, the man whose children was threatened, Scott called the fall over the text messages a distraction. We can't get distracted because they want us to get distracted by a text message here or something else, Scott said. Stay focused. Wow, that's pretty amazing. These Democrats are staying right behind their man. Meanwhile, on Saturday, the Virginia Beach Democratic Committee reaffirmed their support for Jones, knowing that he's taken responsibility and apologized.
This now is the governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin. Governor, he's a Democrat, I get it, but when you saw this, you thought what?
I thought this was a joke because no one could write this. I mean, no, this is demented. And here we have the Democrat candidate running for attorney general, the top cop in Virginia, wishing not only that he had 2 bullets to put in a guy's head, but then he wishes death on his children. And Todd Gilbert has small kids. And for Jay Jones to wish death on his small children is beyond belief. But that is where the violent left of the Democrat Party is. This is where these folks are. We've had 2 Democrats threaten to murder 2 of our delegates running for office in Virginia.
We have learned that violent threats are being made against at least 3 Republicans who are either in office or on the ballot. Delegate Jerry Higgins' office says that he's received death threats in a text. A Loudoun County man is charged in that case. A spokesperson for Republican Lieutenant Governor candidate John Reed also confirms to WSA 9 that threats have been made against Reed and Delegate Kim Taylor as well.
In rural Dinwiddie County, a Virginia man sits behind bars charged with threatening a sitting state lawmaker.
It has been a very odd 24 hours.
This is Delegate Kim Taylor, who represents the sprawling 82nd District in the Virginia House of Delegates. The arrest warrant for Michael Strawmeyer, who is accused of sending a death threat against Delegate Taylor to her campaign. Court records show he admitted to county investigators sending a text message, quote, "I plan on killing Kim Taylor," and, quote, "she is ruining this country."
And now Jay Jones comes out and says that he has 2 bullets for Todd Gilbert's head and wants to see his children die. I mean, this is unbelievable. And what's shocking also is that after calling for the normal apology, the Democrat candidates, Abigail Spanberger and the rest of them, were out campaigning this weekend like it was nothing. They have got to call for this guy to resign, step down, get out of this race in disgrace, because this is beyond disqualifying. I mean, they're asking people to vote for this guy to be the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Meanwhile, we have the best Attorney General, Jason Miyares, in the nation, and everyone in Virginia should step forward, rehire Jason Miyares, and demonstrate that Virginia stands for the values that not just hold our country together, but we reject all political violence, and we reject anyone that would call for violence on a child. It's unbelievable. This is nuts, and this is why the Democrat Party has lost touch with where America is today, when they can support someone who wants to put 2 bullets in somebody's head who's a political arrival and see his children die.